Hey everybody, welcome to our Saturday afternoon 4:30 virtual wine tour. Where are we headed today?
Today we are going to the wine region of Ramona.
Okay, so, oh my gosh, look where we are. We're at Chuparosa.
Isn't that amazing?
I love the drive. It was so beautiful. Mackenzie's so excited. She loves going to the winery, and don't forget to get the picnic basket out of the car. So here we are at Chuparosa. What does Chuparosa stand for?
It means hummingbird in Spanish.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And neat thing about this place, you can actually ride your horse and literally just tie your horse up to the
Hitching post. Yeah.
Okay, so really cool winery, wonderful couple that are the winemaker owners. And
Carolyn and Andy Harris are the owners and winemaker.
Thank you, thank you. So their wines are delicious. There are many varietals that they sell. Today we only have two, but we're going to share a few things with you about them. But always remember, whenever you go to our local wineries, you are typically welcome to bring a picnic to almost every single one of them. Most of them, dogs are welcome as well. So it's a really fun way to meet people. And gosh, remember, who's our motorcycle Dave?
Dave, yeah.
Yeah, we love Dave. I wonder how he's doing.
He's got a three-wheel trike type of motorcycle.
Yeah, we should give him a jingle, touch base with him and see how he is.
Yeah.
What are we tasting today?
Well, today we are going to try their Albarreño. For those of you who are familiar, it's one of our favorite varietals. We love this as a white wine. It's typically a Spanish varietal, but it also is grown in Portugal. They don't call it Albarreño there. I forget what they call it, but it's something different. But this is grown like many different parts of Spain, but predominantly up in the northwest along the Atlantic coast in a place called Galicia. So yeah, so it's pretty cool place right on the water. It's a land of 1,000 rivers is Galicia. So there's rivers running all the way through from the mountains all the way to the ocean. So it's pretty cool.
You're smart.
Anyway, yeah. So this one, you can tell it's a little dark in color. We're actually going to try a couple different Albarreños today. And this one is done in stainless steel, and so no oak to it at all. So it's a little bit fruit forward, but not sweet. So we're going to give it a little try and see what we think.
And I'm going to like it because I don't like oak. I like stainless steel.
It's very good. This particular varietal pairs really well with some different cheeses, but a lot of seafood and roasted vegetables and things like that. Yeah.
So last night I had the pleasure of being a guest on the beautiful singer-songwriter Randy Driscoll's music show. And she's been doing this music show. Yesterday was her 28th episode, and it airs live from Nashville, our time 4 p.m., so their time 6 p.m. And she switched her set yesterday and actually made her set be up in the kitchen. And her little daughter Skylar and her husband Andrew, and they did a It's for Dinner episode. And how cool is that, that she's in Nashville, we're in San Diego, and we cooked together on Facebook Live. It was wild. So I made a roasted artichoke and red pepper with garlic and crushed red peppers and Parmesan cheese and cream cheese, and I threw a little bit of mayo in it, but don't tell him because he doesn't like it. And then we baked these live in the oven, and Randy went on to sing and perform, and Andrew actually made a specialty cocktail drink, which Philip Fredrickson made behind the scenes, which was fun.
Little spin on a whiskey sour. It's called a New York whiskey sour. So it does just like a whiskey sour, only add in a little float on the top, a little red wine.
It was pretty.
Which I thought, wow, that's going to ruin that good bourbon. But no, it actually was really good.
And I thought artistically it looked cool. So it was a fun episode last night. It's what's for dinner, doing something with someone, in a different state. How cool. So we made the roasted red pepper dip, and I know for a fact that they are performing today live as well, and they had some of this left over. And one of the things I had recommended is you could throw this kind of dip over pasta. You could throw some grilled chicken breast in there. You could eat it vegetarian, whatever you like. If you're dairy free, you could also eliminate the cheese. So what else are we drinking or talking about Chuparosa.
Well, this other wine that he has that we got is amazing. It's a Malbec, which is one of the Bordeaux varietals, and he really makes a good Malbec. If you like a Malbec, you should order this one. They'll actually do patio pickup on their tasting room. They have a beautiful big patio. You can go there and pick it up, or they'll ship it to you UPS, however you want to do that. So definitely try the Malbec. That's really a great wine, and this Albarino is really good too.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why we're doing this is to support all of our local businesses and to try to get people, maybe you've never even heard of the Ramona Wine area and you live in San Diego, or maybe you live in a different state. They ship to different states. So it's just a really neat, fun opportunity to support our small businesses, which we know are struggling very much so right now. So where are we gonna head next?
Well, interestingly, we're staying in Ramona.
Oh.
And one thing you should know about Ramona is most of the area of Ramona actually is part of the American viticultural area. So it's AVA rated, which means it's a great area for producing wine. So we're headed to one of those other places, and that next one's going to be Grant James.
Ooh, okay.
So let's load up the car.
Excellent. Everybody get your seatbelts on. Everybody be safe. We're heading over to Grant James. And again, Grant James, oh my gosh, we love this winery. Just gonna mosey on in my car over to Grant James Winery. All right. Gosh, that was a quick drive. So here we are. Thank you.
Good.
All right. I think the table's in. I can't really tell, but I'm sure it is. So, Grant James. We discovered Grant James and are so thrilled that we have. It is such a fun, outdoor, beautiful venue. They have really cool events where you can have wine dinners in the vineyard, like right in a long table. Typically, there's always live music. They're open 5 days a week.
Thursday through Monday, typically.
So that's super cool. And we'd only been there maybe once or twice. And the first time we went, we heard music playing. And it sounded exactly like Neil Young. And I was like, oh my gosh, they have music piped in. Obviously, Neil Young is not at Grant James. And Philip is dropping me off with Mackenzie and all of our gear. And he's like, no, that's Alan Iglesias. That's our friend Alan. I go, there is no way. Not that Alan doesn't sound just like Neil Young, but it was just so perfect.
She thought it had to be piped in on radio or something.
We get there and we had no idea. And we met Alan and his wife Debbie at Espinosa years ago. Last week, Debbie brought over love mask that she made and she left them at our door because she's a seamstress and actually a designer, a fashion designer. So it was just really cool to have that experience. And then we met the winemaker, Suzanne.
Yeah. Suzanne Sapier. She's the owner winemaker. So she actually makes all the single varietal wines that they have. Interestingly, her husband, Jacques, is an attorney. And he actually does the blending. They make quite a few blends, and they're very good. And he does the blending. She makes the wines and he blends them. Okay, cool.
Well, what are we drinking?
So this, again, is another Albarino, and you can tell just by the color, it's much different. Could be for a variety of reasons. Maybe this was done in oak. It might have not been. It looks like it's actually stainless steel, and I think it smells like it doesn't have any oak in it. But it could have been how long the skins were left on the grapes, things like that. So, but this is a light, refreshing, crisp Albarino. It's very, very good.
Yes, excellent. And we met this really cool, here's some cheese that we have in a jar. And this happens to be a lemon, garlic, rosemary cheese. And it's from the Cheese Cave, right?
In Ramona.
And again, this is a small local business in Ramona that you can easily call and support and order really cool, gourmet, homemade, fresh cheeses. And this pairs very nicely with the Albarino. And as Philip mentioned earlier when we were at Chuparosa, seafood goes really well with Albarino. And yesterday, Philip drove down to Mitch's Seafood, which is located in Point Loma, and they literally had this huge boat of crabs come in. So he went down and got a crab boil for us. He can't eat it because he's allergic to shellfish, but he did it for me. And he also got one for our friends Judy and Jean. And today down at Seaport Village, there were several fishermen that were there, and everybody, practicing distancing, mask, gloves. There's a line. It's very, very well organized and protected, and just tons and tons and tons of seafood that all of us in the public are able to purchase, because typically most of that seafood would be going to restaurants that are not in business at the moment. And believe me, they will be back in business for sure. So I had to give a plug out to our local fishermen. What's this wine?
This is their rosé. This one, it's interesting because most rosés are like a single varietal rosé of that particular varietal. It could be a Grenache or something like that. This one actually is a red blend. It's a blend of different red wines that they don't leave on the skins for very long. So it's not one particular varietal, and it's proprietary. They won't tell us what's made up in it.
Okay, wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Like secret sauce.
Yeah.
Okay, and any history about Grant James, like the name or any of that cool stuff?
Well, their son is named Grant James.
Right.
So they named the winery after their only son.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool as well. So again, neat venue, open 5 days a week. It's the only winery other than Cordiano. And Cordiano, by the way, is still serving food in curbside pickup. So
That's in the Highland Valley.
Cordiano is another winery in the Highland Valley. We didn't feature them last week, but just to give them a shout out because they are feeding people. And don't forget that Surfside Deli, Chef Billy Butter, is serving, I think he might be on 21,000 dinners that he is donating. And this is all from donations coming in. So today he put a big shout out to all of our musicians, all of our artists, all of the people who put on concerts, the riggers, the stagehands, any of you. You are welcome to go to Surfside Deli and get, I'm just pulling Philip into the camera.
Oh, sorry.
He's kind of drifting away. To go call him up and just pick up or have him deliver you awesome gourmet, freshly cooked. I mean, he's smoking meats. He's doing it big time. It's just with such love and gratitude that he's able to do that and help everybody out. And I know that Valley Farms out in Spring Valley in La Jolla, they're helping families out as well with groceries as well as prepared meals. So
many people coming out of the woodwork helping those less fortunate than themselves. It's really so cool. One of the best blessings of this whole scenario, which is hard to call it a blessing, but there are blessings that have come from it, and good people come out when the chips are down.
yeah,
So,
and to all of you that are in the field of the medical field, I see Samantha on here and Nikki on here, to the doctors, all of you. I mean, I heard that there's some big rally downtown today. I'm praying to God people are not getting out of hand and going to cause us to be, sequestered longer. So we have to be careful. So we have had have a little more taste of this one, Albarino. Hopefully everybody out there is having like a glass of water, an iced tea, a beverage, something.
glass of wine.
That's
okay
with us.
too.
And next week we'll be doing, we'll tell you a little bit about where we're going to go next week shortly. But we don't even know, but we're going to make it up as we're doing this.
Maybe Napa.
Napa could be fun. Okay, so
All right.
let's head over to...
So we're actually, this winery is located on the far eastern side of Ramona. Now we're going to head all the way over to the other side on the west, which is almost on the border of Highland Valley, and that is Kohill.
Kohill. I love Mike.
Yeah.
Love him. Okay.
Yeah, Mike Kohill's the man.
Seatbelts on. Everybody ready to roll? Everybody drive safely with me as we go.
We're going to make a pit stop,
We're going to make a pit stop. Okay, we just got to West Lewis in Mission Hills. Oh my gosh, because today is Kimono Saturday. So Jennifer Grace designs these kimonos, and I only get dressed up now on Saturday. And
Not exactly true.
well, and you can find these gorgeous, handmade, machine washable, throw in a ball travel, multi-versatile kimonos at Chateau Bellage, which is located on West Lewis, and that is in North Mission Hills. And today I'm wearing it a different way. So today I'm wearing it with the belt, So as I said, you can wear it long, you can wear it short, you can wear it over leggings, you can wear it over shorts, you can wear it over jeans, you can wear it with a little slip dress, whatever you want to do. So it's just, again, giving shout out. Valerie does the fashion distraction every single day at 2 p.m. And I'm telling you, the production that she's doing and the effort I know that she's doing, and her husband Jimmy, who is managing the whole camera situation as they're in their shop, it's really helpful just to have that distraction of beauty and fun. And she has things that are cheap and cheerful, as well as things that are more pricey, but she's really, really budget friendly, big time. So I have to always give a shout out, and my necklace is even from there. Okay, where are we heading again? Kohill.
Kohill Winery.
Okay, from Mission Hills, we're running up the hill to Kohill. All right. A little bit more this way. Camera maybe.
There.
Okay, so we met Mike Kohill how long ago? Gosh, 6 years ago? Yeah. And he's really, I think, very shy, but he is
Super
so
nice.
sweet.
Yeah.
Once you kind of get to know him, he really opens up. And one of the best things is when I go in and I get a hug from Mike, because I just love him. And he makes so many varieties of wines, doesn't he?
He does. Right now, I think they only have like 6 or 7 available, but typically you'll go there and they'll have 12 or 13 varietals to taste, and he'll let you taste them all. It's really funny. But he is the owner winemaker, and actually his wife has now stepped up a little bit and is making some of the wines as well. So that's kind of interesting and kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And their daughter does a lot of help there. So this is one of our favorites of Kohill. So tell us a little bit about this.
Well, this is 100% Cabernet Sauvignon grown on their estate. These were the first vines planted. I think there's almost 500 of them. And they plant like 6 feet, 7 feet away from each other, which kind of makes them grow, I think, stronger in some way, which makes it a bigger fruit. But anyway, this is a tremendous one. This is a 2014, which basically when you see it that age, that's when they harvested the fruit, not when they necessarily made the wine, but they typically make the wine shortly thereafter. So anyway, this is the 2014 Cab. We have a little left over. This is actually our last bottle of Kohill we have.
We don't want to open it yet. We want to save this for guests.
We've been a member.
Come over.
We've been a member of their wine club since the first time we ever went.
Yep.
And they had some problems with drought and fire here a few years ago, and they had such a low production year that year, they had to stop the wine club. But I think now it's kind of picked back up again, so they're probably going to fire it up again. So they throw some awesome, fun pickup parties.
They sure do.
Yeah.
And so this pairs very, very nicely with what we made last night on Randy Driscoll, the singer-songwriter's show in Nashville. So we made Devils on Horseback. I don't know if you can see it, but we have some left over because I made a bunch of them. And basically you take either a prune or a date, you slice it open with a little blue cheese. Philip prefers them without, but either one is super good. And then you wrap it, you cut the bacon in half, and you take a half a strip of bacon, wrap it around, and then bake it in the oven, and then maybe 15 minutes in the oven, and then just hit it with the broiler. But keep in mind, these are wooden toothpicks, so you do not want to catch a fire in your broiler. But I like to make these and not cook them. I actually will make a bunch of them and put them, Billy Joyce, hey Chef Billy Butter, we were just talking about you in Surfside Deli, buddy. You are kicking it. Can you type in how many people you've fed and how many people have been benefiting from all this food and all these amazing donations that people are doing in our community, including that 2 little boys that brought their piggy bank in and cracked it open and gave you 25 bucks. How awesome. If you could type in how many people you fed at some point, that would be phenomenal. Anyway, make them ahead of time, keep them uncooked, stick them in a Ziploc bag. If somebody rings the doorbell, gosh, wouldn't that be awesome if somebody would ring the doorbell? Oh my gosh, we'd have company.
We get the doorbell rung every day, 20 times a day. What are you talking about?
That's different.
Yeah.
So anyway, not with real people coming in, but
deliveries.
The point is, you just pop them in the oven when you have company, and they think, oh my God, you're like a gourmet chef. How did you figure this out? You have like this crazy appetizer. Just a good warning is do not ever plunk them in your mouth right out of the oven, because you will not be able to talk for 5 days because it will scald you.
They are hot.
So we are headed to...
We haven't tried
oh
the
my
wine.
God, oh my God, okay.
So this is the 2014.
Ooh,
We had a little left over from the last bottle that we had, and so we did not crack this one open because we still have a little left over.
Oh my gosh, with the Devils on Horseback, ooh, that would be so good.
Big ripe fruit. There's some dark fruit in there.
Yeah.
That is really good.
That is super
A little
yummy.
cherry.
Before we go to our next winery, I want to share that exciting news that we have.
Oh,
That
okay.
I'm super excited about. So
I'll step out of the picture.
no,
Okay.
you stay here. So Billy typed in $20,000 in donations. That's crazy. Divide that by $25, and $25 serves 2 meals. That's a boatload of amazing food.
Yeah.
Awesome. Bravo,
Yeah.
San Diego.
That's
and
super cool.
I bet you donations are coming in from other parts of the country as well. So we are super thrilled to hear that.
Yeah.
So last night we were sitting outside in the backyard, and have any of you ever watched Queer Eye for a Straight Guy? Especially the original Fab Five. So I happen to be very blessed and very grateful to have Jay Rodriguez, who is an Emmy Award winning actor, as well as comedian and singer.
And
as,
super nice guy.
As one of my very dear friends. Like, I feel like I'm his aunt. Although he's probably older than me because I'm 39. So anyway, Jay and I FaceTimed last night, and we had this super organic, like we were FaceTiming like 2 hours.
2.5 hours.
I think it was
Almost 2.5 hours.
I think it was 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And in that, I had suggested and like was really helping, like, come on, Jay, I want you to do some shows. And he comes down here. He usually does a show at Martini's on 4th, and he's awesome and
great
so
variety
fun.
show.
Yeah.
Funny stories, great singing and music. It's fun.
And he was on Broadway in the production Rent, and he played Angel. So he's got such history, and he's on Frank and Gracie. He was Frankie and Gracie. Frankie and Gracie.
Yeah.
He was just recently on
Rookie?
The Rookie.
The Rookie,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's coming out with a 4-part series on HBO, and I'm going to save that information and a couple other things that he's doing for later for this situation that I'm so excited about. So I said, I don't know, we just started talking about how we typically would not be FaceTiming on a Friday night, and how so much of society has just been texting. Everybody texts now. Nobody, prior to this. And one of the things we're finding is we want social activeness. We want connectivity, and we want to be with people.
Right.
So Jay and I hung out. We were outside for a while, and he's like, I want to FaceTime you during the day to meet the chickens. And as soon as this thing's over, I'm coming to San Diego and staying with you. But Jay Rodriguez from Queer Eye for a Straight Guy is going to be my guest on It's What's for Dinner this coming Thursday. And, it's Fair Housing Month, and we're going to have a little chat about that. Jay's going to maybe I'm not even going to tell you. You have to tune in, and we're actually going to do it via a Zoom webinar as well as Facebook Live. So we're going to send out information, and hopefully you can join, because he is a gift and such a fabulous heart
Great
and
talent. Yeah.
that we'd love you guys to be able to join us for that. So, Philip Fredrickson, I call you that because Darren Schneider calls you that.
I know.
It's so funny. Darren Schneider works with us, and I love him, and he's one of my favorite share fans with me. And Darren always calls Philip.
That's not SHARE, by the way.
It's CHER. Share, as in if I could turn back time. Anyway, so I turn back time every day. I lost my train
20
of thought.
years.
Anyway, I always call Philip Fredrickson. Okay, Philip Fredrickson. Where are we headed?
We are now headed back all the way to the east. In fact, right next door to Grand James, because we didn't follow what makes sense. We followed by the wines that we had available from each one. We wanted to start with the whites and go red. And so we're headed all the way back, and it literally, you could walk next door in 3 minutes from Grant James there. So that's a great 1-2 punch duo if you want to go up there.
It's a super good 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are going to Old Julien.
All right. So this time we're still taking the car because
because now we're 30 minutes away.
30 minutes away technically. So fasten your seatbelts, cameraman.
All right.
He's not really the cameraman, but Mackenzie is actually sequestered in a little room so she doesn't bark right now. Okay, so we're heading to our last winery. Okay. Hello, hello. Oh my goodness.
A little bumpy ride there.
A lot of turns too. A little bit further over that way. This way. There you go. All right, that good? All right, so we are now at Old Julien Vineyard. And we just recently stumbled across these folks, and we're so delighted that we did. That, oh my goodness, Kellee and her husband, they're phenomenal. They're so hardworking, and we drove up and literally left at the gate were the 2 bottles that we purchased because of, social distancing. But for me, it was the first time in 2 weeks that I'd been in a car. And it was the first time in 30 some days my car has ever even been driven. And I never got out of the car, so it wasn't like I had but it was just so pretty to take a ride. And, we take this extremely seriously, and we all should be, because we all have to, flatten that curve and keep everybody healthy. So we are at Old Julien Vineyard, and what are we going to have?
We are actually on this one. They've got a ton of varietals as well. As you can see some of them here. I don't know that we'll go into them all. But we're drinking this one today, Tres Sorel. This is a Bordeaux blend. Well, it's, Bordeaux blend. It's just there's certain varietals as part of it. This is 3 of those varietals. So it's a Cabernet Sauvignon, a Merlot, and a Malbec blend. And so this is phenomenal. Reasonably priced, but it's a phenomenal, great wine. We happen to have this one's a 2016, but we also have the 2017 of the same thing. And it's really, it's so easy drinking. Big flavors. It's a lot of dark fruit with some black cherry to it. A little bit on the tannic side, so it's a little dry finish, but it's pretty well balanced. I think you'll really like this, even for people who don't like tannins that much, like Mary Beth. She loves this wine, so it's very complex but fruity at the same time.
Let me tell you, PT and Lori are going to be jelly, because we had them over for dinner right before we were unable to have anybody over for dinner, and they loved this wine. It was so good. But I want us to talk about these too a little bit.
So, by the way, the winemaker used to have his own winery, Hellenbach Ranch Winery, which was way out in the boonies. I mean, this is, a little ways to get out there, but it was probably another 45-minute drive practically to get to his. He made some excellent wines. He's been making wine since about 2004, and he actually helps a lot of new wineries in the area. Some of the winemakers help hone in their skills on winemaking. So he kind of gives back to the community. He's very involved with the Ramona Wine Growers Association, as is all of them are very well involved with that. So to promote the wineries up there. I don't know if most of you knew this, but in San Diego, prior to Prohibition, we were a big wine region. There was a ton of wineries, and they kind of during Prohibition, obviously didn't last very long. And the few that survived really started rebounding again, and a bunch of new ones grew in and came in, but World War II kind of took them out again. And so it's been since then, since World War II, it's really come about all over San Diego. We are a really good wine growing area because of our warm temperatures, especially inland, and then cooler evenings. Like this particular winery, Grant James, and that they get the real warm days, and then still cool breeze comes up through the valley, so it cools off the grapes at night. So it really produces some great wines up there. You really need to check out Ramona.
And the prices are really reasonable.
The prices are great. The wines are great. These guys, they have a great wine club. We joined their wine club.
In fact, we took clients that found us from Boston. They're relocating here and now are here, Rick and Katya. And we celebrated Katya's birthday.
Yeah.
And did a whole Grant James picnic and then moved over to Old Julien at the end of the day. And they liked it so much, they bought wine and they joined the wine club as well.
They joined the wine club as well.
So, you know, it's fun. It's so fun to be able to turn your friends and clients and associates and family onto neat little places to go. And one of the things that was cool taking that drive the other day, other than the fact that I got to get in a car, was how beautiful the vines are all looking.
All budding, leafing.
Right?
Yeah.
And everything's super green because San Diego's had a lot of rain. I think our camera's a little crooked, or we are, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that is, what's this one? You gonna talk about a few more
I
of
can
these?
tell you a little bit. Yeah, okay. This is their rosé called Angel's Cheer. You
I
gotta love
that
the name
name.
of that one, Angel's Cheer. That's a great one.
I love that rosé.
This one's their Sangiovese, which, by the way, they make a great Sangiovese there. John York just is a phenomenal winemaker. He does really well with these. This is their Syrah. It's a big, big wine. That's great with a big, thick steak. That's an awesome one. This is the 2017 Tres Sorel. So that's a Bordeaux blend as well.
They're two different
That's
years?
the 16. This is the 17. This is the just came with the new wine shipment that we picked up when we picked up the other wines. So by the way, Rick and Katya, if you're seeing this or if you end up watching this, your wine shipment is ready to go pick up.
Okay. And again, they're doing all their wine pickups. In fact, Grant James did a really cool thing because their wine pickup party is typically food and wine. And because they were unable to do that, they had everything in alphabetical order, including packaged food that would have gone with their wine pickup party. Everybody had to come in order and pick up singularly their wine pickup and their bag of food.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
I mean,
they came in, and then when they left, the next person came in, and I think they had, I forget what did she say? I told you, with like 200 or something, two or 200 or 250 wine club members came through and picked it up and walked away.
And they never even were out there. They were in the house, staying socially distant. Yeah, so very, very cool how that whole thing works.
Yeah.
So the other day I made mushroom bisque.
You did?
And for whatever reason, I don't know if we ended up getting to eat it or not, but tonight it's what's for dinner. So we're gonna have mushroom bisque, and our friend Ralph Duskin, we were at their house for Christmas one day, or spent the night Christmas Eve and celebrated Christmas morning, and we're cooking, and I had made mushroom bisque at their house the first time I'd ever made it for our dinner. And the next morning, we reheated the mushroom bisque, and Ralph poached eggs and put it in the mushroom bisque. Now, I know that sounds bizarre. It sounds amazing. So weird.
It was so good.
But we're going to have that tonight because we've got a bunch of little chicky chew eggs.
It'll even be better because we got the girls' eggs.
The fresh eggs.
Yeah.
So, and we just want to thank you guys and know that, you know, there was something that was posted today that was extraordinarily profound. We are not in the same boat. We're in different boats. And I think all of us need to acknowledge that. Philip and I...
But we are in the same storm.
In the same storm. We are so grateful to have a roof over our head and to be an essential in the community and be able to help people that are in need of being helped. But for our restaurant industry, oh my gosh, again, that's the whole genesis of why I originally did my first ever live Facebook post.
Cooking show.
And then it ended up being a cooking show. It wasn't supposed to be. But it was just to give shouts out to our community and all of our chefs and bartenders and wait staff and musicians and artists and, you know, like the Casbah, Monique, you know, your husband is part of the Casbah, and Patrick Bailey loves going to the Casbah.
Sure
and it's
does.
Patrick and Lisa's anniversary today. They were one of my
22 or 23?
I think 22.
I think it's
they
22
were one
also.
of my first clients back in like 1998. They're like our family now because Philip has met them and we've helped them.
Yeah.
But you know, it's all this stuff. And then our friend Gwen does events, and she does weddings, and she does big conferences and parties. So Gwen's unemployed.
And helps us a lot.
Oh, she's our stage director behind the scenes. Like if Gwen's on right now, she'll be like, "Oh, move that over to the left."
Yeah, she'd love to be here telling us what we're doing right and wrong.
She's super good.
Absolutely.
And she's amazing with flowers. And yesterday she posted something that I shared. Holy moly, have we even thought of the flower industry?
I've been doing my part, by the way.
And our neighbor Jan has beautiful roses, and Jan is like, because we trade food for flowers, and so that's always like a fun thing to go back and forth and do. But this thing goes deep, big time. I mean, there's just so much of our industry, and we hear that parts of the country are protesting and parts of the country are getting out. And, you know, we're also told we have to wear masks everywhere we go and gloves. So, guys, we got to make a choice, right? We have to make a choice of how long we want to be physically distant while being socially connected. And there's people who are in complete isolation. They have no one. And that just breaks my heart. I mean, we had Dr. Ken Druck on one of our Zoom meetings for our company, Coldwell Banker West, and it was open to the public. And we had, you know, some really intense situations. You know, we've got homeschooling going on. Jim O'Donnell was hilarious this morning. He's got his kids. We were on a Zoom prior to it starting, and he was talking about, you know, parents send kids to school and they think, oh, my kid's angelic and so awesome. This is not what he said, just in general.
Yeah, but we all know better than that because we were kids.
Yeah, I never got to be a mom, but...
no, but you were a kid.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. But I was freaking awesome, angelic.
Yeah,
you kidding me? Yeah, redhead? Never. But anyway, he was just saying how, you know, now he's homeschooling. And he's like, when a teacher, like teachers should be making $1 bajillion. I have a niece that lives in Oceanside that is a school teacher. She has 3 daughters. They're my great nieces. And I mean, she's got her master's degree. She's badass. And, you know, raising 3 daughters, and 2 of them are twins. So she had 2 of them at the same time. But I think it's just really, my other niece, Heather, she's homeschooling and working. And then my niece that's my age, 39, her granddaughter, which is my great niece, at 39, she's homeschooling because her daughter Brittany is working. So, I mean, major props to our teachers. I think actually teachers should start, hey, Chef Billy Butter, I think teachers should get on that list of being able to get some free food here and there, don't you think? So
they might need free alcohol.
Exactly. So here's to staying physically distant while staying socially connected virtually. And next Saturday, we'll do a tour of Napa.
We'll do Napa.
Yeah, we'll do Napa. We're not sure which wineries, but that's what we're going to do.
Love Napa.
Okay.
That's like one of our favorite spots in the world.
Name 4 wineries we're going to do in Napa.
I'm not going to name them.
Okay, we have to figure out what we have here so that we can feature them. And then we'll hope to kind of do what we did today, which was pair the wines. This one particularly is super good with a big red meat, spicy food, something that has fat on it. This is a really
like
good...
a big ribeye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with that, I need to get in front of Filippo and say goodbye. So thanks everybody, and don't forget Thursday.
Have a good evening.
Jay Rodriguez, Emmy Award-winning Queer Eye for a Straight Guy, will be on It's What's for Dinner.
Enjoy your evening.